Canadiens are proud to select Ivan Demidov.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Curfew Boys podcast. Myself, Sammy, with my boy Zook, baby.
Yeah.
How are you doing, buddy?
Feels good being your wingman.
You tell me this now. Not now that we're 36 years old, we're getting old and gray. You couldn't tell me this when we were in our 20s, huh?
I told you this even in our 15s.
In our 15s in high school. It's true.
Was that?
Back at high school days when we were in art class listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers and the rest of the classmates hated us.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
we didn't care.
It's a good reason for them to hate us. At least we're exposing them to some good music, you know?
We were trying. Now I like to think we're trying to expose them to a good hockey team. Maybe.
There you go. That's
awesome. It. Awesome. Listen, this episode of the Curfew Boys is sponsored by Les Délices Lafrenière. To the folks at Les Délices Lafrenière, big shout out to them with probably the best pastries in the area on the island of Montreal. You know what I mean? Listen, the Zeppeli season is still on. We're still in the month of March. So go get your Zeppelis at Lafrenière. They also have the best cakes, the best cannolis. My personal favorite, to be honest. I could live on cannolis, I think, for the rest of my life.
A good cake, though.
They make amazing cakes there too. Visit lafreniere.com if you'd like to make any custom orders, or just visit their websites for any other information. Visit their 6 locations in Brossard, Rosemere, Saint-Julie, Pointe-Claire, Montreal West, and obviously our hometown of Saint Leonard. Les Délices Lafrenière sont simplement délicieux. They're simply delicious. And last but not least, this episode is also sponsored by the famous Habs Cave. A shout out to our boy Sunil, who's got the best man cave in the entire hockey world. This is every Habs fan's dream to have a man cave like the Habs Cave. Give our boy Sunil a shout. Follow him on Instagram. Simply type in Habs Cave. You're going to know what it is. You will not regret it. Best hockey or best Habs hockey memorabilia content out there. Thank you, Sunil. Habs Cave, the best cave on the planet. Speaking of which, we were there this past Saturday. It's going to be an annual thing, it seems. It was a fundraiser event for the Liam Foundation that was held at the Habs Cave. We had the pleasure of meeting once again Chris Nyland, who is heavily involved into this foundation and into raising money for the Liam Foundation. Also, ex-Montreal Canadiens player Shane Corson was there again. And we also got to meet 2004 Stanley Cup champion with the Tampa Bay Lightning. No, it was not Marty St. Louis. No, it was not Vinny LeCavalier. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Javi Bulin, the Bulin Wall. It was none other than local boy Andre Roy, who I have to say,
what a riot!
He was, in terms of highlight of the night. Just meeting him, Andre Roy. First of all, he's fucking massive. He's a big guy.
Honestly, when I remember watching him play, I knew he was like a tough kid, you know, but like. I never thought he was that massive. Like,
he's a.
His hands were like.
He's a big guy, and he listen. Let's be honest. His role was the enforcer role at that time, but he protected players. That was his role, and you know what? Listen, he told such an awesome story when I think the first time he met Jacques Demers, and when he was explaining the story, and Jacques Demers went up to him and said, "Hey, you know what? Doesn't matter what your role was." He shook his head, said, "You're a Stanley Cup champion. Don't ever let anybody take that away from you. Even if they can never take that away from you. You're a Stanley Cup champion.
Oh yeah,
you did exactly what you had to do." I was just praising him, and apparently Andre Roy was like so taken back and like wanted to hug the guy forever. But Andre Roy, like he's awesome. He's such a cool guy to hang out with. Like, I think he's one of those guys, if you go out to a restaurant or to like a pub or something, like he's going to be the life of the party. He's
but like funny. Apart from that, he's hilarious. But like even the way he tells stories is fantastic. But like apart from all that, just a genuine dude, like a calm
Yep.
guy, not calm, a regular dude like all of us who's a real big fan of hockey, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
No,
Like
he's not. He's
there's no
not.
filters, like it's just
There's no filter, but like it's. He's got the. He's got a typical, and I love it. I'm not crapping on this. Like he's got that great Quebecois sense of
yeah,
humor.
hell yeah,
It's fucking hilarious. I
yeah.
die of laughter every time, and he's just so funny. But Shane Corson is
Oh
great,
yeah,
man. He
man.
loves to talk about hockey, and you know what? And Chris Nyland is like he's such him too. He could be a riot if he wants, but I think he knows like he's got a he's a little bit more rough around the edges, so he's you know I love and we love Chris Nyland too, like him too. If he wants to be the life of the party, he can. But like he's got a bit of that old school rough grandpa style. But like but you love him and you look up to him, and you know
Yeah.
you hear the Chris Nyland stories.
Hmm.
My goodness, you know, just like he's had a rough life, but he was able to come back from it and become you know not a better person, but he was able to change the course of his life for a much down a much better path and a
Yeah.
much more positive path.
Mhm.
Like he is him too. He's such a great person to be around. And Zook, it was your first time in the Habs cave too.
Yeah, so yeah, it was my first time, believe it or not. But and I hope it won't be my last because like literally the experience was like an experience that a Habs fan has to have in their life at least one time. Um, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain the feelings, of watching. Like, you look at every wall, and the pictures and the
There's no
memorabilia's,
there's no
and
Jip Rock left.
There's
There's no
nothing
Jip
left.
Rock left.
But whatever the Jip Rock has been replaced by is insane. Everything seems to be like well placed. The touch, the class, everything. It's just perfectly put together. Sunil is, he's a great person. I'm very thankful for
Yeah,
being
big
invited
time.
to go there. Like
Yep.
'cause, it's not everybody that could go there. And he's such a great guy. He's very hospitable, and felt as if we were allowed to go in his in his fridge without even asking him. Like
Yeah,
that's
he's such a
you
great
never
host.
you never do that even at your friend's house.
Nope,
Like
nope.
like there it's like, yeah, go, it's all good.
Oh man,
It was insane. It was insane. A great experience, and like you said, all the people there were great. All for the common cause of Liam and his freaking it's terrible rare issue, and hopefully a cures down the line. And it was great to see everybody contributing for that same goal,
yep.
and ultimately loving the Habs as well too. But
Yeah,
so it ties
absolutely.
us all together.
Well, just so like people are kind of like a little bit up to date what the Liam Foundation is about. It's so this guy named Kevin that we've known through Sunil and through Chris Nyland, his son Liam, which is he must be what now 8 between 9-10 years old,
I'll
something like
say
that.
10-ish, yeah.
Suffers from a rare disease called mitochondrial disease, and it basically it kind of like it ruins your nervous systems, and like you could barely walk, you can't speak, and I think it's some of those it's one of those diseases that can claim the life of a child, but it's so rare. But like there's like at least maybe 40, I think they were saying maybe 40-50 children or 40-50 kids around the world that suffer through this rare disease. And
Crazy.
it a
50.
lot like
What are the
yeah
odds? Like,
it's something that it's I hope I don't have I'm not mixed up the numbers, but like it's a very rare disease, but unfortunately there are kids around the world that do suffer from this, and they come from some countries that don't have the best healthcare system. They were saying countries like India, China, some in South America, like
Brazil.
they're all over Brazil. Yeah, exactly. And what Kevin and having Chris Nyland involved in this, they were able to, for the first time this project is coming up, they were able to set up the first mitochondrial clinic with McGill, and they're able to set that up in Montreal. It's the very, very first one in Canada. So just hearing that, like, I know my cousin Chris, like he was so happy to hear that, and that's a big congratulations for Kevin, Liam, Nyland involved in the Liam Foundation. Like this, it's the first one like ever. So
Massive.
a big congratulations to Kevin, to the Liam Foundation, to Liam, little Liam, and to Chris Nyland that's heavily involved in this. So I just got word now that my cousin Chris is going to be joining.
Nice.
But yeah, that's good news. And I think just to wrap up the event that was held on Saturday, I think total. I saw
15.
15,000. They're able to raise 15,000, but total though, not just that night. I thought
it was over the 100,000
yeah,
range.
but I think Saturday night they were able to get
15, correct.
1,000. But I think once they tallied everything, donations, raffles, all of that, I think they made like over 100,000. So.
Wow.
So you know what I mean? Just to give an example to the audience, apparently they were saying that an event like that gives one child a full year's worth of medication.
Yeah,
and that's just awesome. It's massive news,
and it's
for
frustrating. Sure. Imagine for the parents of these unlucky, unfortunate children that it takes this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And not the governments who have the power to help. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that could be overbearing and political and whatnot, but like it really takes literally a community of
people, good people,
to, instead of relying on services that we think are there to help us. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm happy that this exists, right? Because now these kids, like you said, are going to be getting the treatment that they need, and beyond deserve it. So,
but it's not just through this fundraiser. Like Chris Nyland has his annual golf tournament that he's going to be doing every year now. It's the second year this summer coming up.
Okay.
That goes towards the Liam Foundation and the research into fighting this disease. So
it gives me hope, Sammy, that if everybody comes together for any cause, something positive is going to emerge from that situation. So,
this is legit because it's the Montreal Canadiens name and brand involved, and they only do,
of course,
the Canadiens wouldn't be associated to this if it wasn't legit or whatever. Let's just put it that way. So no, in all honesty, like what a fun night that was. Myself, you, my cousin Chris was there, Anthony was there, the four of us, we went. And listen, we have a vlog that's up on our YouTube channel. It's simply called a great cause at the Habs Cave for the Liam Foundation. We'll put the link into that vlog.
It's a fun watch. It's definitely a fun watch.
It's a good 20, just over 20 minutes of the experience that we wanted to show our audience.
You get to see Chris, buying stuff for from his favorite Habs player, Arthur Xhaka.
just in case it's not that obvious, but it makes that wall slightly better.
It does. Naked
well
there.
Placed.
Oh man, yeah, it was strategic. Literally on the weekend, I was just like, I'm sick and tired of having an empty wall for the podcast. I have nothing. You know what? You want to know the only thing that I have to say about this thing is I'm still missing, like, this thing has to be 3 times the size that it is, but nevertheless, it's beautiful back here.
There. Next time we'll get the slightly larger frame.
Yeah. I should have got the Lane Hudson one. That was almost double.
That was a long one.
Easier said than done, right, guys? But
you won that. I won an Expos beer mug as far as raffle prizes. I won that. I won Orlando Cabrera, who used to be my favorite shortstop. I won the bobblehead of that. And then I won a plaque of all the pictures of every players from that 1994 baseball team, the greatest team, the best team in baseball that year. That's
insane.
I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. They should have won the World Series, but
it's fixed.
It's fucking fixed. Anthony wants some Expos memorabilia things as well. So
yeah,
we had a fun night. It was an absolutely fun night. So a great cause at the Habs Cave, and best thing about that is we got to watch a bit of a crazy game.
imagine.
Montreal versus Colorado.
One of the best games of the year, perhaps.
No.
Or was that maybe the experience that was
No.
just there? It felt like that.
No, I don't think it's one of the. I don't think it's one of their best games of the year. I personally don't think so.
As a fan, I'm saying.
If
No,
they would,
sorry, let me reword. Not best games, because I get what you're saying. Best games being dominant. No, it's not the case. But like one of the most exciting games of the year. You know, the comeback paired with the environment that we were in. Could that be one of them, or no?
Look. If it is for you, that's fine, fair enough. For me, not quite.
Ottawa.
I think maybe the Ottawa 6-3 win was
Yeah, okay.
was something crazy. You know what? If they would have won, maybe. If they would have won in overtime or in shootout, maybe. I think we lost Zook there, but
I'm here, man.
oh, you're here? Okay, there you are. Yeah, I don't know. As far as one of the best, no, not to me at least.
Okay.
I just think.
Yeah, that Ottawa game, you're right in saying that
Ottawa.
was something that kind of stood apart.
Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: the game against Colorado. We love seeing them fight back, come back, force overtime, and all that. Who doesn't? But I had a feeling if they didn't learn their lesson from that game, the start of this road trip would not go well, and it kind of proved my point or my fear Tuesday night against the St. Louis Blues.
What did Marty say though?
Which game?
Last night.
Against the Blues?
Yeah.
Well, in French, he said this wasn't. What did he say?
This wasn't a failure. It
wasn't failure. It was fertilizer. So,
which basically means they're going to use this to build off it and be positive and go forward and try to build and win and.
But you need to be shit in order to have fertilizer, right?
I was just about to say fertilizer is also another word for shit. So,
yeah, I
it's
think
more of a positive tone, right?
Well, the way I see it is, like I'm not a botanist, but out of shit could come a good plant. I don't fucking know.
100%.
It's the Martyisms that we try to figure out ever since he's been the coach of this team. But,
fantastic.
But oh my god, like we really need. Okay, I'm gonna create this content. When he says that, I'm gonna have Elvis Gratton be like, "Tabarnak."
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, this is cool. I love this. The light bulb of content ideas just went off during this episode. But no, look, we'll start with the Colorado game because it ties in with the event at the Habs Cave. The funny thing about that game is the game that he was broadcasting on his TV from TVA Sport. So Sunil has those Budweiser lights that light up every time the Canadiens score. The lights would go on at least maybe 3 to 5 seconds.
I think it was closer to 10 seconds ahead.
Was it? Was it a bit of a
15? I would say.
Oh yeah, was it?
Oh yeah.
So every time, it's so funny how I think only us we were like, well, listen, if we were watching the lights more than we were watching the game. It didn't take it took the tiny bit of excitement out of the game, but it was still so fun. But every time the light went off, we couldn't believe. We're like, oh my god, they're gonna fucking score. We're waiting to watch. So
you're like pushing everybody. Yeah,
because everyone's screaming. So I'm like, shut up. Christian Dvorak comes in, dekes the defender,
beautiful,
holds on the puck, backhand roofs it. Ah! Everyone just starts losing their shit in the cave. Yeah. Oh my god! Oh, that was hilarious. But no, you want to see a team like the Canadiens that are rebuilding able to come back against what I truly believe is probably if they're not
them or Dallas.
Dallas, like I know in the West people are putting in even Winnipeg as kind of like the favorites to it. I think it's going to be Dallas. Favorite. I think it's going to be Dallas or Colorado. I just don't think Winnipeg could get over their playoff woes out in the West. They're like Toronto in the East. They're so strong during the season they can't. Anyways, I just think Colorado is going to be one of those teams. But to see the Canadiens at where they're at in the season right now to fight and come back against a team like them when Nathan McKinnon, Makar, Nietzsche, they're just dominating. He's so good. Yes, it's great, but it's not sustainable for the rest of the season, especially now during this time of year. And I want to hear your thoughts on that.
What do you mean by sustainable?
The Canadiens, they can't keep playing that way if they want to make a playoff spot.
No, for sure. Well, that's what I was saying, actually. Was I talking amongst us on Saturday about that? I was saying something to the effect where, like, teams like the Canadiens or any team, and it doesn't have to be the Canadiens, but like a team that battles their way, like from like 20 games before the season to the playoffs, that make the playoffs, usually get banged up, and very rarely, if they pass the first round, by the second round, they're finished.
Good point.
And now with the Habs, yes, we are young. Maybe we could, bypass that because of their age, but we still have, the people that matter. With the vets are still old, and if they get banged up because of this last, 20 games of pure grinding, it's basically playoff games since February. The Habs have been doing. So
arguably December. So there's, I think they had it in two waves. They had it after the Four Nations, and they had it leading up to Emil Heineman in December, leading up to Emil Heineman's injury with the car accident. And what you're saying rings so true. Whether or not this is sustainable, I think it's something that really has to be reflected upon, because all the teams that went on these hot streaks, Columbus as an example, I feel as though Columbus, they gave their all, and now they're dipping.
Hold on a sec. If you look at the reasons why they were losing a lot of games, who was injured on that team? And he came back. He came back last night, and look what they did against the Rangers.
It wasn't Zach Werenski?
No.
No.
But a veteran.
The fuck?
I'll give you a couple of seconds if you want me to. We had him. We had him. We had him on the team. We had him. He was on our team last week. Well, he got traded to Winnipeg, and then he signed with Columbus. For the sake.
Sean Monahan, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ever since Sean Monahan went down with that injury, they've been losing. They've been dipping.
He's that type of player, man.
He's that important. He's back, and they won in shootout against the Islanders, a big controversial game, which like we won't get to it. We won't get into because this whole goaltender interference thing. But yeah, no, Chris is right. I agree with the waves, like the Four Nations wave. Yeah, you could go back into maybe a bit December. All those wins in December leading up to January, they like gave us hope. The 9-game losing streak after that was like we weren't sure. Like, it's not that they were no man's land, but it's like, look, after the Four Nations tournament, they don't win, then forget it. The season's done.
Oh yeah,
leading up to the trade deadline, and then that whole discussion with Kent Hughes and Suzuki and all that. The one thing I could take out of the game against Colorado is we need Uri Slafkovsky to be like that. Like it's two times. Like if we're going to include the loss against St. Louis, it's at least 5-6 games where he scores 2 goals, and he scores 2 different ways. Like he shoots the puck, he's coming in, he's got a chance, he shoots it, or he stands in front of the net and he's deflecting everything.
He has a good shot, though.
We need him to do that.
I thought it was particularly funny that he played like that, especially against Colorado. He pulled a Rantanen against Colorado. He, if it's a flash or a preview of what's to come, because again, he's only about to turn 21. This kid is going to be a force. Like, especially leading up to the goal where he fished it out. He brought it. The puck was brought into the zone. It was on the right side. He fished it out, like really powered his way, got the puck off the boards, cut into the middle, shot. It wasn't the most beautiful shot, but just the power behind it. It went through. It went through. Yeah. Like, that's the type of player he could be, and that is one hell of a powerhouse. Like, that is an awful lot of talent. Like, there are a lot of guys. You take Josh Anderson, and I don't even think Josh Anderson is a fair comparable. Josh Anderson has that type, and maybe not even as much power as that. But like Slavkovsky, you have to realize too, he is packing a whole ton of talent behind all
Yeah.
of that power as well, and he merges those two, and he's driving the net like he does. He's going to be one of the best power forwards in the game in the past while.
Well, Josh Anderson has that north-south style, whereas I feel as Slavkovsky could add in some east-west, can cut into the zone a lot easier than maybe a Josh Anderson can, and Slav could hold on to that puck. But when he does that, if you notice, he's also looking to make some kind of play to Suzuki or Caulfield, whether it's a draw pass or a cross-ice pass. But yeah, no, those are fantastic points. And exactly, I feel like his stick checking and his forward checking are getting better as he keeps playing and as he's getting older and a little bit more physically mature. But yeah, we're gonna need that Slavkovsky, and it's so funny because before the game against St. Louis, the Curfew Boys put out a tweet, a picture of Slav like shaking hands after a goal, and I think he's here. Let me get the original tweet here. And the thing is, the stats remain the same. We asked, like, he's only 5 goals away. He's 5 goals away from beating his personal best, which is 20 from last season, and he's 8 points away from going over 50 points. And now that was when there was 13 games remaining. Now there's 12. And the question was, like, do we think he could pull it off? A lot of fans, a lot of followers say he can, but a lot of people went even further to say if this team is to clinch a playoff spot, like, a lot of it are putting not so much pressure on his shoulders, but saying how, like, he's the key to the remaining success of this team. Like, he has to be. And fuck, you know what? I tend to agree with that. As a first overall pick and a long-term project, I truly believe he needs to be. Like, I don't want to call him. I'm not saying he has to be Neo from the Matrix or something.
You read my mind, because it's the second Matrix. It's the second Matrix analogy that we make. So the first one was he's starting to shoot, and it's like the training scene where he turns and he's just like he refuses to run.
To believe.
Exactly. He refuses to run, and he's like beginning to believe. And now, now it's it's exactly that. He's the one. He is the one.
Look,
Ivan Demidov is the one. Let's be perfectly clear here.
Yeah, he's Slav is the false prophet, I guess.
Oh, no. I think Slav.
No, I'm joking. I'm
joking. If we make the playoffs, he's gonna be a pivotal playoff type player. I have a feeling.
Well, him and Jack Eye, like, those are two guys. Those are two guys. Yeah, go. Those are two guys that when they've experienced their very first playoff edition of their team at the Bell Center,
it's gonna be nuts.
Like, both of them are gonna be nuts. I think. I really think.
That big boy.
But no, look. Jack. I mean, at the end of the day, or at least at the end of the game against Colorado, like, we should have never gotten a point to begin with.
No.
We'll take it. But I had a feeling that if they didn't learn from their mistakes off of that game, they were going to be in trouble against St. Louis. Let's jump to the St. Louis game that happened Tuesday night. You know what? I think the general narrative and consensus amongst Habs fans everywhere is that Montembeault is tired. I truly believe he is.
That's what I was going to say.
I really think he is. But, man, the Canadiens came out flat that game. They did not learn.
It was 13-3 shots, dude. Like,
it was all, yeah.
That the end of the period. Like, what is that, dude? Like,
you know what I think killed them? That how many seconds was left in the first period when St. Louis took a 2-1 lead?
4.
It's like 4 seconds.
4.
Dude, those types of goals fucking hurt you big time.
Of course.
And they kill any momentum you think you have, especially in the first period. That, like, look, St. Louis scores. Maybe it was like 2-3 minutes later, Suzuki gets the goal. Okay, great. They're in it. Still not exactly a great period because they're getting outshot, like you said, Zook. But you know what? At least it's a tie game. If they don't let that second goal go in, you start the second period on an even note, because now you're playing catch up again. Now, like it just sucked the life out of you at the end of the period. I hate those goals. You love them when they work in your favor. You hate them when they're against you. it went downhill from there. Like I know in the second period they had a couple of shifts where they looked pretty good. They were putting in the pressure. Power play looked pretty decent. But then as soon as St. Louis started hitting their main guys, like they were going after Matheson, they were going after Carrier. Like I felt the two of them just had a terrible fucking night. -4, both of them. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, makes sense.
This road trip, guys, is the most crucial, probably the most important road trip of the season. And right now, like the only reason why we're saying thank the hockey gods, like the only positive thing that came out of that loss is that everybody else lost as well.
Yep.
And so they still hold. And so as we're talking right now, look, we're recording this episode Wednesday, March 26th, but it will be released on Thursday, March 27th. We're keeping a close eye on the Vancouver versus Islanders game. We're all Vancouver Canucks fans tonight. But when the Canadiens go into Philly, man, they cannot start flat. Like they gotta come out fucking strong. And Philly too is on a bad losing streak, and Torts is gonna fucking start cracking the whip.
Come on, make them cry so that they don't play.
Who should get the start against Philly?
Dobish.
It's got to be Dobish, for the love of Christ.
But like you just said, Sam, Montembeault is a little. He's a little. He looks
subtle.
tired.
Very subtle.
Yeah. Snacks.
Yes, his nickname.
He does look tired. Yeah. I'm not saying he's a terrible goalie. Like
no,
he's had great games, great moments. Even when they lost, he's made some nice saves. Like that's for sure. But overall, though, his performances are not consistent. I've seen a lot of rebounds that should not have been made. That just fucking make it harder for the Canadiens afterwards defensively.
A couple of banana goals that he let in, though, unfortunately. No, but it's true. It's like listen, and look, I don't want to put the entire blame on him because I truly think he is tired. Like, don't forget, even if he didn't play during the Four Nations, he was still at work. Like everybody else had a week and a half, 2 weeks off almost. Not him. He didn't.
Was playing,
even if he didn't play, like he still practiced. He still had to get up early and get into that routine and all that. Like I get it. He didn't play, but no, I Dobish needs to start.
Yeah, and he needs to come out strong.
Because even Dobish too, he hasn't been playing well lately. Let's be honest here.
He hasn't been playing well lately, but how much has he been playing? When he came up from Laval, how many games straight had he been playing for them? He was constantly in the net. He was fresh. He got up here, and again, I don't want to say he played frequently, but he played much more frequently than he currently is right now. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that he's on the bench, I think it's detrimental to his development. And meanwhile, you have a goaltender who's absolutely showing signs of exhaustion, and he's not getting the rest. So at a certain point in time, like, I don't want to say read the room, Marty, but it's time to make a change. The other thing, too, like just on the Montembeault side, I think it's even more evident, and there are more of these types of goals, but I can handpick at least 5 to 10 episodes where of ours that I've openly said he lets in at least one bad goal per game. It's just, again, we're getting to a point where we absolutely cannot have. I think, in all fairness, if we go back to that Colorado game, there were at least, some people are arguing 3. I'm trying to be a little bit more fair. I think there were 2.
I'm
one
trying to
definitely
remember.
bad goal, and arguably 2 bad goals that he let in. And you think about that, the team this year, as compared to like the team that we've had for the last 10 years, nearly, they're putting up a whole number of goals. They're putting up a significant, usually 3 to 4 goals per game on average. And it's 4 games, 16 goals. He's been led. I think it's 4 games straight that he's led a minimum of 4
it started.
goals.
Yeah, it started with the Ottawa game. Like even the Ottawa game, when the Canadiens tied it up to make it 2-2, he let in a pretty goal that he sure would have loved to have back when Ottawa took the lead 3-2 again. But then, look, luckily for him, the boys in front of him woke up. But no, I 1,000% agree with you. Look, like he let in 1 bad or 2 bad goals against Ottawa. The Islanders, look, okay. How many games? Let's look at since since I want to say the Oilers game. The Oilers game, the Canadiens kept fighting back, but like none of these games were did the Canadiens ever had a lead except for maybe the Florida Panthers game a couple of Saturdays ago. The game against Seattle, they should have won that. They had a 4-2 lead. Okay, they
Yeah.
they were fighting back against the Senators. They fought back against the Islanders. They fought back against Colorado. That's 4 out of 5 games where you're trying to fight back. Like, you don't think that fucking takes a toll out of you?
Yeah.
It takes a toll out of the fucking team. They can't keep playing that way.
I'm sorry.
They just
before we move on, Zook, I'm going back to this part of the episode, and I'm going to get a screen capture of you just going like, that's going to be my my alarm in the morning. I think it was the most perfect sound of exasperation and like just annoyance. That was perfection. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the Canadians shitting the bed, or Montembeault shitting the bed more recently. Sorry, continue, Sammy.
Anyways, they can't. They can't play that way. They need to start taking the fucking lead like as early as possible. They got to stop. This is like, I don't only think it's Montembeault that's tired. I think the team is slowly getting there. Like the amount of energy it takes out of you to fight back, especially against a team like Colorado. Like, yeah, they have 2 days off in between. Whatever. It's still taxing on the body. This is a time now. Like this road trip, we got to see where the resilience lies with this team. We got to see where the mental toughness lies as well with this team. I really believe this road trip is going to make or break their season.
Yep.
At least in terms of where if they're going to keep a playoff spot or not. I truly believe that. Yeah. And the thing is, what sucks the most is that like they can't control their own destiny. Other teams trying to catch up to them, they're losing as well. And it's like, yeah, for a certain time, Canadiens were winning. They were getting a little lead here and there, but so the Islanders are catching up. The Rangers aren't going anywhere. Detroit still sticking around. Ottawa's ahead of us. Like, them too. When we win, they win. When they lose, we lose. Like, it's that same fucking rotation over and over again. But look, they got the Flyers Thursday night. They got Carolina Friday night, and then they got the Florida Panthers Sunday afternoon. Like they're gonna need, out of a possible 6 points, they need 4 or 5. I'm going with that. They absolutely do. Then they come back home for another 2 games, but again against Florida, then against Boston, who, you know, like, Boston is Boston, even if they're crashing, and then Philly again. Like, there's a couple of games they could win, but also these are the games they have to win. There's no choice at this point.
Do you think they exercise some demons and win in Carolina? It's been years, it feels. No,
I think so. I
hope
so.
They actually won recently in Carolina, unless I'm going crazy.
I know
they beat Carolina, but I don't know if it was home or away, now that I think about it.
Well, last time they beat Carolina was home at the Bell Center 4-0. I was at that game.
Okay, I have to go back.
Yeah.
I don't think we've won Carolina for years. I think that game is the one that I have circled on my calendar more than anything. That's going to be a telltale sign. I think, again, it's kind of like when we beat San Jose. I think it was last year or the year before.
Yeah.
It's just been so long. That's one game. If they win, like, that's the game out of all the 3 next ones. I do not expect to get the points, so that would be seriously very graceful win on their behalf.
I would do this. I would do Dobesh Thursday against the Flyers, Montembeault Friday against Carolina. I'd put Dobesh back again Sunday versus Florida, because he's had his first game in the NHL was in Florida, gets a shutout. And then I'd put Montembeault back again Tuesday against the Panthers, and then maybe even you can put him maybe even Thursday night against Boston. And then you could do this. You could put Montembeault Saturday night against Philly. And then you go back to Dobesh Sunday night, the game after, against Nashville. Maybe a bit of an easier opponent, but they're starting to win too slowly. And then against Detroit, the Tuesday after that, you put Montembeault in there as well. So it's management. And when I mean management, I mean like more on the coaching side, like how to manage your goaltenders and your lineup. Like, this is where Marty's going to start He's going to have to learn. And if he wants to make the playoffs, like, he's going to have to learn quickly. He's part of that process as well. You know what I mean? But it's he got out coached. Jim Montgomery with St. Louis. Like, look what he's doing with that team. Claude Julien is an assistant coach. I had no fucking idea until I saw him on TV.
Mental.
Stanley Cup champion
Former
with the Boston
guys.
Bruins.
Former Boston guys, Boston Stanley Cup champs reunite in St. Louis. Can we also just take a moment to reiterate that whoever made the schedule is definitely not a Habs fan? Like, for the love of God, the schedule, the travel,
that made it.
oh my
Hold
God,
on a sec.
the schedule is absolutely horrendous. Like, the number of games, they basically have 7 games in less than 2 weeks. They have 7 games in 12 days as of the first. Actually, if we actually go,
And
they
you're
have
telling
13,
me that they're
they
not
have
going to be tired for the playoffs?
13 games in
Mhm.
14 nights as of this Sunday.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but Chris, I think I don't know. I don't have the schedule of everybody else, but everybody else has a bit of more or less the same type of schedule. And this, I'm only going theoretical over here. Hold on. They're the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have the 8th easiest schedule in the NHL as of right now. Strength of schedule, they have one of the easiest ones coming up.
How do you know this?
If you go on tankathon.com and you go to strength of schedule or remaining schedule strength,
Okay.
like Detroit has
it's
right now, they have the hardest strength of schedule.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with 11 games left. The Canadiens, out of 32 teams, are at 25.
Well, you look at it and you say Philly, not in a playoff spot. Okay, Carolina, different story. Florida, different story.
Yep.
Florida, again, different story. But then Boston, out of the playoffs. Philly, out of the playoffs. Nashville,
Okay.
out of the playoffs. Detroit,
Exactly.
out of the playoffs.
Yep.
Ottawa, battling for playoffs. Toronto, Chicago, not even close. Bottom 2 team in the league. And then Carolina again. So it's not
Exactly.
that bad.
Exactly, Chris. Out of the next 12 games, 5 of those are against tougher opponents. 2 games against Carolina, like you said, 2 games against Florida, and then 1 against the Leafs. And Chicago, Nashville, you said that those guys are easier. So they have, again, this is all theoretical. Doesn't mean it's going to work out that way. Doesn't mean it's going to pan out that way. But you got to hope, man. The key right now is they got to take a lead. They got to come out strong. They got to come flying out of the fucking gates. They got no choice. They got no choice, man.
Come on, boys.
Caden Gooley made the road trip.
Yeah, but I think he's just practicing.
He's practicing. No, he's practicing with a regular jersey. He's not wearing a no-contact jersey. The constant debate right now amongst the fan base and even amongst media, if Caden Gooley goes in, who do you take out? And I've been trying to figure this out, but I want to hear your thoughts first before.
Terrible. And most certainly not this guy. Not this guy. No, Arbor. He changes the game. He's one of the reasons that we came back against Colorado after beating the shit out of Colorado's.
That was a wicked fight.
Keaton.
Did you see in the box against St. Louis who he was yapping at? I forgot who he was yelling at, but I was able to read lips. He says, Jack, I was looking at him, was like, if you don't shut up, I'm going to fucking pop you. And then he's like, the guy's like, yeah, what do you do? He's like, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. Like, he said it word for word. I'm praising him. Good. It happens in hockey. I don't care if people don't like it. I fucking love it. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to apologize. I loved it. I saw him there. He was trying to get a fight. He was trying to wake his team up. Good for him. You know what? I don't know if there's going to be a bit of a rotation thing going on. A lot of people are saying take David Savard out.
Never.
I think it's a bad idea if they do.
Never going to happen. Not Savard.
But right now, Strubal's playing probably his most consistent good hockey.
Better than Savard?
I don't think he's better, but he's definitely not the worst defenseman out there right now.
Right. No.
You can't take out your best penalty killer.
No.
It's just the
tough.
role players and what the individuals bring to the team. If there's anybody that, again, Jack-Eye has more of an intimidation factor, and the type of game that Gooley plays is a B-rate. The type of game that Struble plays is a B-rated Caden Gooley. So if you want to replace what these guys bring to the game, well, I think you're just better off switching. Like Gooley can't bring what Jack-Eye brings, and sadly Struble, he has the occasional fantastic hit, but he still can't bring what Jack-Eye brings. So the logical switch is that.
I don't even think
like you said so well, Sam, you're not going to replace arguably your best penalty killer, shot blocker, and
1,000%.
Saying solid veteran presence.
Yeah,
not Matheson. Sorry.
Well, Matheson, they were targeting him. They targeted him a lot yesterday, and it showed. It should, like, whether you care about the plus minus stats. It's not he's an easy target. It's just they know, like, if you take him out of the play, you got a better chance. Like, and they did. Like, who was it? Who was it that fucking ran him over? He was trying to create a play in the offensive zone. He went along the boards, and at the end of a shift, and he got
Holloway destroyed Cartier. It wasn't Holloway. Dylan Holloway.
I can't believe how St. Louis was able to get Philip Broberg, and Dylan Holloway on an offer sheet from the Oilers. They fucking robbed them. Yep. Dylan Holloway, don't forget, was Cole Caulfield's teammate in Wisconsin, who was like he was their second best player. I remember watching Cole Caulfield in his college days, especially that final season. Him and Dylan Holloway, they were tearing it up together on the same line and on the power play. Like, fuck, Dylan Holloway, he's an excellent player. Excellent player. The Oilers lost a good one. Just like that. The Thanos snap. Just like that, by the way. No, who was it? Oh my God. It's a Québécois en plus. And anyways, yeah, no, I'm going with Struble, but it's tough. And I also think if you put Gooley on the left, keep Hudson on the right, you give yourself another guy that could play 20 minutes a game and that could play on both ends of the ice. Especially if he's going to play with Hudson. Well, Hudson's going to be a little bit more offensive, and Gooley is a bit of your two-way guy, maybe more on the defensive side, just to let Hudson do his thing. I do think you got to keep Matheson and Cartier together, two veterans they complement each other well. They had one terrible game. It's going to happen, and you keep Savard, Jack-Eye together.
How about this scenario? They don't bring up Gooley, or they don't put him in the lineup until they're either qualified or disqualified. They don't want to change the status quo.
I think him in the lineup gives them a better chance of winning immediately.
I think so too. I think I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't think he's going to play Thursday night against Philly, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's in against Carolina or even against Florida.
This soon, eh? Okay.
I think so. This kid has fucking Wolverine healing. It's insane.
Yeah.
What happened at the beginning? He got his appendix got busted.
Yeah.
He heals from that. He fucking practically slit his leg open and he heals. I'm telling you, Caden Gooley is Wolverine.
Can we
go
into controversy talk?
Yeah, go for it.
About what?
If Caden Gooley gets injured again, can we officially stamp him with the injury prone?
Oh, well, I think he already has the injury prone status. He's had it since junior. He's had it since junior.
I'm saying to the point of we are willing to negotiate him being a blue chip piece in a trade. Does he become tradable?
I'm not going. Well, no team's going to want a tradable, injury prone guy, right? It's gonna be tough, but like not yet. No.
Taylor Hall got traded a few times. I'm just messing with you. I know
but Taylor Hall was look. I'll give you Taylor Hall was a throw in at the end of his contracts, like for a bunch of years. That's what he was.
That's fair.
Like he wasn't. I'll trade you Taylor Hall for like a star player or something, like, to the best of my memory.
Adam Larson.
Like he had that. Yeah, that was a fucking terrible trade. But anyways,
Peter Chiarelli,
that was
genius.
Peter Chiarelli that just fucking destroyed. He destroyed the Bruins. He destroyed fucking Edmonton at the time too. But you know what's the recent not controversy, but like debate too is if Dobish isn't going to get games, should the Canadians call up Caden Primo instead and send Dobish back down so he could be the starter?
Oh, I think you don't touch Laval and what magic they're running on right now.
Thank you.
And don't bring him up ever again.
The thing, this is the last thing that fucking Caden Primo needs is, can you imagine they do that? They send Dobish down. They bring Caden Primo up. The 1 or 2 games he's going to play because Montembeault is fucking exhausted. He's
digesting.
He needs to fucking sleep for a whole 20. Can you imagine Caden Primo fucking plays a game, they lose badly, and that makes them lose their spot in the fucking wild card spot?
Yeah.
Like, the city is going to fucking run him out of town. He's going to get outcasted. That's the last fucking thing this kid needs. So, no, don't fucking touch him. Don't touch the magic that Laval has. Fucking keep him there. There's a good chance they could win. If anything, if he helps them win the Calder Cup in the minors, like, believe it or not, his value is actually better than what it is if he comes to the Canadiens.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, at the end of his contract, he's an RFA.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch him. Leave him there. Yeah. The only people you fucking call up, whether Zook, I'll answer that question. Do you think Caden Gooley plays if they qualify or if they're officially eliminated? You know, I think what you do, fucking bring Logan Mailloux up for a game or two. Bring David Reinbacher up for a game or two. Fuck it at this point.
I would love to see Reinbacher, by the way.
He's good. He's
of course
you watch. I suggest to everyone, start watching the games, especially the ones that are on LDS. Like you watch him, he's freaking good. So,
love it.
Anyways, they need to beat the Flyers tomorrow. Tomorrow, if there's one thing they need to do for us is win. They need to pull a Rocky. Win.
Come out strong and hold the lead.
They have to. No, that's all I have. One thing before we call it quits, I just want to say I got to check the score for this, but Laval, they are 5 points out of they're 5 points away from clinching. But the thing is that the Belleville Senators, fucking Ottawa's farm team,
they're losing 2-1.
They're losing 2-1?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. If they lose this game, then Ottawa goes from needing 5 points to clinch to 3. And if they win, and then they have 2 games coming up on Friday and Saturday, if they win those 2, one of those 2, and Ottawa loses 1 more.
4 games left.
No. There's about 11 games left.
Okay, so it's like the NHL more or less.
Yeah, but they play 72 games instead of 82.
They have a longer break.
Yeah, so there's that. Like just a bit of like a prospect update. The NCAA the Frozen Four tournament starts Thursday, but Jacob Fowler plays Friday, and it's a one game elimination, right? So he's got to win them all to get to the Frozen Four like he did last year. But here's the thing, guys. That final game in the NCAA is Saturday, April 12th. Okay? The Canadiens after that, like that same night, the Canadiens played the Leafs in Toronto the last time of the season.
You bring them up.
But then, hold on. But then the Canadiens play Monday night. The final 2 games are Monday the 14th and then Wednesday the 16th. There's rumors that Fowler got a new helmet, so that means he's going back to college 1 more year. Kind of like Michael Hage finally announced he's going back to college 1 more year, which is a bit of a no-brainer. Like, I actually love that for the kid. Mm-hmm. But I'm so curious to see what's going to happen with Fowler.
I would be almost disappointed if he if he's another year in the NCAA. I would have expected him to at least go to Laval next year.
I think they're going to offer him the contract. But the thing is that don't make him play. I don't want him to burn a year off his contract.
Right.
That's what because they did that with Hudson and then with Harris and Struble, right? They made them play those one or two games that it burned.
That good. If
yes.
Fowler is that good, then
Yeah, but are you gonna? I mean, by that point, we'll probably know if the Canadians make it or not. But maybe I wouldn't mind seeing him play a game. And you make him play one game. Fuck, if you want to burn the contract, you make him play one of those games. And then, look, he's going to go to Laval, and he's obviously not going to play, but at least he's going to be part of that playoff experience in the minors.
Right.
So, yeah, no, that's all I would say. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on with Ivan Demidov anymore. Like, the coach said he's not playing the last game, and he ended up playing.
So the season's over. Did they make the playoffs?
They did make the playoffs, yeah. They play either Thursday night or Friday night. I'd have to double check.
Oh.
So that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add. I don't have good news right now. The New York Islanders are winning 2-1, and there's 7 minutes left in the second period.
It was 1-0. Yeah,
so, boys, if you got nothing else to add, do we call this a night?
It's the story that she wrote.
Yeah. That's all she wrote. What's
this guy is trying to yank me off the episode over here.
He's like, pet me.
He's been climbing on me. Like, the camera's been cutting off, but he's been climbing and chewing my Canadian.
My fear is that if you hang that Jack Eye picture up, he's going to try to jump at it.
Oh, trust me, I've got it. There are landmines that are waiting. No.
Proximity mines.
Do you guys have any score predictions against the Flyers, at least?
Yes. So this is based off of like recent score lines, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Montembeault and Nets. 5-4. We lose in overtime.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I think it's going to be 5-2 Canadians after that loss against St. Louis. I think the last goal is going to be an empty netter, possibly 2 empty net goals even.
Okay, so
I'll take a point there, Sammy.
So I'm going with a 4-2 final score. Dobesh and Nets.
Oh wow.
I'm getting goals from Slav, from Cole. I gotta get a Josh Anderson goal in there, and I think Emil Heineman is gonna get a goal and finally break his little slump that he's going through, which is okay. He's still a rookie.
Good.
I want an Emil Heineman goal in Philly.
I love him.
Coolio, boys, we wrap this one up.
Let's wrap it up.
Well, once again, thank you to our audience members for tuning in on this episode live on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. It is absolutely free, and you could also hear our episodes audio format on platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow the Curfew Boys on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, or X, Facebook, TikTok. And once again, a big thank you to our sponsors, Les Délices Lafrenière and from Habs Cave. Zook, Chris, really appreciate your time recording this.
Anytime.
Enjoy the game Thursday night. Enjoy the game Friday night. We're definitely going to be talking about it. And, hopefully we get to come up with another episode, maybe hopefully Sunday after the game against the Florida Panthers. Mm-hmm. Enjoy. Pray to the hockey gods because we freaking need these wins.
Let's get our nice sleep.
Guys, I hope the Canadians treat you guys well and that the episodes are very entertaining, but I will be saying goodbye for this week and the next. I am off to Mexico.
Enjoy the beach, enjoy the sun, enjoy the nicer weather for sure from there. But you gotta keep watching them from there.
Oh,
you have to.
Especially the Bruins game. Like, I'm thinking of bringing my Amazon stick and things like that.
Amazing. Amazing.
It's necessary.
Yeah. Well, have fun. We'll be thinking of you, gentlemen. Until then. Bye now. Buenas noches.